Good morning, students. Today we will read the chapter number 5, that is the 100 Races 1. There are two chapters. Chapter 5 is 100 Races Part 1, and chapter 6 is also 100 Races Part 2 is there. Before we go through the chapter, let me give you some kind of a brief sketch about the chapter. The 100 Races is a story which is based on a true experience of author L. For Astor about a girl who is teased by her classmate because she belongs to a poor family. So there is a girl who belongs to a poor family and is being teased by all her classmates. The girl Vanda Petronsky, because the built of her becomes the butt of her friends, the jokes because of her funny Polish name. She was a Polish girl and belongs to a certain community, and because of her this funny name, everyone used to make fun of her. She is always quiet and she is always quiet and wears the same faded blue dress to school every day. She always boasts of having 100 dresses of same color at home. The story is also about the realization of which people from mainstream society are forced to make about and other different people with similar potential and emotions, like how the people, what are the feelings of those particular people and how the other people used to make fun of others. She always boasts of having the 100 dresses. She always tells her friends, Vanda Petronsky used to tell her friends that she have 100 dresses at home in her closet and all. And the story is about the realization about this society. So about the characters in the chapter, we have Vanda Petronsky, a poor Polish girl with a funny name, who wears same blue dress always and boasts of having 100 dress. Every day she used to come in a same dress, same color, blue dress, the same dress she used to wear. But she used to boast upon, she used to tell her friends in the school that she is having 100 dresses. The second main character is Peggy. She always teases Vanda, creates a game to ask Vanda about dresses different from others, never made Vanda cry by teasing the most popular and pretty girl in the school. So she's a girl who always teases Vanda, creates a game, and she used to create a game in order where she asks Vanda about what type of dresses you have, how they are different to other, and intention was to tease her. The next thing that we have is Maddie. Maddie always teases Vanda. She is very close friend of Peggy, a poor girl, but never boast like Vanda. She is also a poor girl, but she is close friend with Vanda, with Peggy. She is a best friend of Peggy, a very close friend, and she never boasts like Vanda, but she is also kind of one of the poor girl. Then another character we have is Miss Mason, and Vanda's class teacher who helps the students and she supports them. Before we read, how do we judge the people around us? We judge the people when we suppose there is one person, a new teacher enters into your class. How you are going to judge that person? Maybe because of their dressing sense, like, and then later on we think of her possessions, we think of the money the person have, or what is the lifestyle that the person is running into, all this stuff. Or there is something more enduring value to look for in person, and what are those value that we look in? We don't look at the inner values of that person, whether the person is honest, whether the person is loyal, respectful, whatever, but we simply look the outer appearance. So this story is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Vanda Petronsky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in America town. Now these other children see Vanda in a different many ways. And can you guess how they treat her? Now let's read the information which is provided in the box. It's about the Polish American communities in United States. The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608. This is only for your reference. But the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in early 20th century. When more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States, the Polish state did not exist at that time, and the immigrants were identified according to their country of origin rather than to ethnicity. They were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, and Austrian Poles. One of the most notable Polish American communities is in Chicago and its suburbs. So, Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world, next only to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. So, Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in United States as they were the Irish, Italians, and Jewish. Now, according to the United States 2000 census, 6,67,440 Americans of age 5 years and older reported Polish as the language spoken at home, which is about 1.4% of people who speak about the languages other than English, or 0.2% of US population. So this was about the information which was given about the Polish community. So let's begin with the reading of the chapter, and simultaneously I'll giving you the explanation of the same. Today, Monday, Vanda Petronsky was not in her seat. So today, Vanda was not in her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Maddie, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. So there was not even Peggy and not even her other friends. Nobody who used to just make fun of Vanda didn't notice her absence. Usually, Vanda sat in the seat next to the last seat, in the last row, in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. So she sat in one corner of a room where there are rough boys. Rough means indisciplined, the violent boys. These boys used to sit over there at the corner of the room, and there was most scuffling of feet. There are the scuffling of feet means dragging movements of feet on the ground, then the roars, the laughter, funny things, and most mud and dirt on the floor is there at that particular corner of the classroom. Vanda did not sit there because she was Vanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, Vanda did not used to sit over there because she is rough and noisy. No, but on contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. She don't even say even a single word in the class. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. And nobody had heard her about her laugh. Sometimes she twisted her mouth in a crooked sort of smile, but that's all. So, whenever sometimes she used to smile, biting her lips into that, and that's how somebody must have seen her. Otherwise, she's not smiling at all. She's not even speaking at all. She's a quiet girl. Nobody knew exactly why Vanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Begging Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. So, Bogging Heights is a place where she used to live. So, nobody knew why she used to sit in the seat, unless it was like she used to come through walking distance from the Bogging Heights, and her feet are usually caked with, they are filled with mud, dry mud over there. But no one really thought much about Vanda Petronsky. Once, once she sat in the corner of the room. Nobody think of her. The time when they thought about Vanda was outside of school hours. When the school ends, then they are going back to home. That time when everyone think of Vanda. At the noon time, when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before the school began, when the groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing in their way to the schoolyards. Then sometimes they wanted for Vanda. So when I went 2 to 3 people, they are moving in a group, either they are going to school or they are returning from school. So that time when they think of Vanda, why? They waited for Vanda to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Vanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with the other children who got good marks, they used to get good marks, they used to sit in the front, and who didn't track in a whole lot of mud, they don't get into muds, did and did notice that Vanda wasn't there. And just at that time, they noticed that Vanda is not in the class. Peggy was most popular girl in the school. She was pretty. She had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Vanda's absence was because Vanda had made them late to school, because they reached late to school because of Vanda. And why? They had waited, they had, just a second, they had waited and waited for Vanda to have some fun with her, and she just hadn't come. So they were thinking of that they will wait for Vanda. Vanda will pass by and they will make fun of her. They waited, but Vanda didn't come, and then they ran off to school and they reached late. They often waited for Vanda Petronsky to have fun with her. So these were the thought process of Peggy and Maddie and most of the other girls in their classroom. Now we will just go through the oral comprehension check questions. On page number 65, the first one is, where in the classroom does Vanda sit and why? So Vanda used to sit in that corner of the classroom where rough boys sat, and the boys who got the lowest marks had the loudest laughter. No one ever knew why she really sat there, but they were guesses that it was because of her dirt shoes that carries all the mud. Because she used to come from Boggings Height, and from there she used to carry out the mud along with it. Now, coming up to the next question. The next question is, where does Vanda live and what kind of a place do you think it is? So, what do you think? What kind of a place it is? Vanda lived in Boggings Height. This is the place. According to the description given in the chapter, it was the part of a city or a town where poor people used to live. The place was filled with mud, which is where Vanda got the dirt of the shoes from. So that place must have the mud, because of which the Vanda's shoes always carry the dust along with it, and then she enters into the class with the same. The next question number 3 is, when and why do Peggy and Maddie notice Vanda's absence? On Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie noticed that Vanda was missing. They had been waiting for her outside the school before school began. As she did not come, they even got late to school. It was then they realized her absence from school. Now, the next question number 4 is, what do you think to have fun with? What do you think to have fun with her means? To have fun with her means to tease about her 100 dresses that she always used to claim, which is contrary the fact that she always wore the same faded blue dress. So this is how they used to make fun of it. Let's continue from page number 65 again. Vanda Petronsky. Most of the children in the room 13 did not have names like that. They had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith, or Alan. And there was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce. And people thought that was also funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. Vanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She used to come school alone and went alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. That didn't hang right means that is she's not able, that doesn't fit her properly. But she wear the same blue faded dress every day. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. It was clean, like, but it looked as if it's not been ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. She has no friends, but many of the girls used to talk to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching these girls play hopscotch on the worn, hard ground. So Vanda used to see the girls used to playing the hopscotch. Where what is a game? It's a game in which the children used to hop on the squares, marking it there on the ground. So this is a kind of the game that the girls used to play. When she used to see that the girls are playing it, what she do is the other girl, she's been surrounded by the other girls in the schoolyard. Vanda, Peggy would say in the most courteous manner as though she were talking to Miss Mason. So she's Peggy was talking to Vanda like the way she is talking to a teacher in a very courteous manner. Vanda, she'd say, giving one of her friends a nudge. So she used to give a nudge means a gentle push to one of her friends. Like when we are talking to each other, making fun of other, we used to simply just push the other person of other friend of us who's sitting beside her or standing. We used to give an elbow like that push and making fun of others. How many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet, hanging up in your wardrobe? What do you say? How many dresses you have? So this was the question that Peggy used to ask Vanda. 100, Vanda would say. 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. So 100. Now this exclaimed. All the girls are in surprise, but yes, they are not willing to just just believe in this that Vanda is having 100 dresses at home. And the little girls who are also playing the hopscotch, they used to run away and they used to also listen what's going on. Yeah, 100 all lined up. They are all lined up in my wardrobe, said Vanda, and then her thin lips drew together and she remained silent. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Peggy again asked, what are they like? What sort of stuff of these dresses are? Yeah, all silk, all colors. Velvet too? Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses. Vanda would repeat stolidly, all lined up in my closet, not showing any feeling, but she'll still firm and saying, yes, all lined up in her closet. 100. Then they let her go. And then, before she'd gone far, they could help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. Before she could go too far, they are simply laughing and laughing at her and making fun of her. Then 100 dresses. Obviously, the only dress Vanda was the blue one she wore every day. The only dress that Vanda was, the reality was that the only dress she's having is the blue one that she wore it every day. So, why did she say 100? Now, why is she saying that they are the 100 dresses over there? What a story behind that. Now, what is the story behind what is she saying? How many shoes did you had? Again, one of the also they used to ask her, 60 pairs all lined up in my closet. Cries of exaggerate politeness greeted this all alike. Now, this is how what she says too. Oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all lined up. So when they used to ask her that how many pairs of shoes she have. She says 60 pairs all lined up in the closet. Then again they say they are all the same, all alike. Everyone in an exaggerate manner, but very politely greeting. All are alike. Oh no, every pair is different with all colors. They are all lined up. Peggy, who had thought of this game. So Peggy was the one who thought of this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend. You will never see these two girls alone from each other. They are always together. Were always the last to leave. Finally, Wanda would move up to the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in a funny way. She had finishing the walk to school all alone. So that's how they are going like the hitching means catching. So Vanda then finally she move up to the street. Her eyes are dull, mouths closed, and in a funny way she is moving walk to the school alone. Peggy was not really cruel. She protected small children for bully. Peggy, who's a very famous girl, she is not that too cruel. She used to protect the small children from bully. When other children bully means those who use their strength or power to frighten the weaker people. So when you make weaker people to fear of you, and you are using your power, your status, that is bully. So she used to always say protect the small children from this bully, and she used to cry for hours if she saw an animal mistreated. When an animal somewhere is being mistreated, she used to cry for hours. If anybody had said to her, don't you think that this is cruel way to treat Vanda? If anyone come to her and ask her, don't you think it's very cruel that you treat to Vanda? She would have been very surprised. Cruel? Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? Anyone could tell that was a lie. Why didn't she why did she want to lie? And she wasn't just an ordinary person else. Why she have a name like that? Anyway, they never made her cry. So they never made cry Vanda. But still now when if someone asks her the question that why do you make fun of Vanda? Isn't it cruel? So she used to say that okay, that's cruel, but everyone know that whatever she's saying is a lie. So why she's telling a lie again? And she's not an ordinary person like we are having the names like that. Something is wrong with her name. She's having a kind of a different name. Anyway, they never made her cry. As for Maddie, this business of asking Vanda every day how many dresses, how many hats, how many this and that she had was bothering her. Now every day when something or the other thing, Peggy think of a game and she asked Vanda again and again and again, she felt bad about it. She usually wore somebody's hand-me-down clothes, the Maddie, Peggy's friend. Hand-down clothes means the second-hand clothes, handed down by somebody else. Like if her mother is working in somewhere else and they used to give the clothes like that, that is the hand-me-down clothes. Old clothes handed down by someone else. Thank goodness she didn't live up on Bogging Heights and have a funny name. So she says thank you because she's not having a funny name and either she's living in Bogging Heights. Sometime when Peggy was asking Vanda those questions in that mocking, polite voice, Maddie felt embarrassed and studied the marbles in the palm of her hand, rolling them round and saying nothing herself. So sometimes when Peggy was asking Vanda these questions, how many this, how many that, and all that, in mocking, simply mocking it, mocking means very false, making fun of. And Vanda, they used to ask, Maddie felt embarrassed. She used to felt really embarrassed. And what she used to have, she's having marbles in her hand. She used to simply roll them round and looking into her hand only and saying nothing. Not that she felt sorry for Vanda exactly. She would never have paid any attention to Vanda if Peggy hadn't invented the dresses game. But suppose Peggy and all others started in on her next. She wasn't as poor as Vanda, perhaps she was poor. Of course, she would have more sense then to say she had 100 dresses. Still, she would not like for them to begin on her. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Petronsky. It's not that she's really feeling very sorry for Wanda exactly, but she don't want Peggy to pay attention towards herself because she's also poor. She don't want Peggy to start the dresses game on her now. Maybe she's on the next target. She don't want to be the next target of Peggy. So that's why she be friends with her. She simply just stay with her only. She wasn't as poor as Wanda. Perhaps she was poor. Yes, she knows that she's not that poor as Wanda, but she is poor than that. Still, she would not like them to begin on her. She don't want again to start this game on her. She simply wished that Peggy would stop teasing Wanda someday. She should stop teasing Wanda. Now coming up to the oral comprehension check questions on page number 67. The question number 1 is, in what way Wanda is different from other children? Now what are the ways? Wanda is quite an shy girl who had no friends. She is very quiet, she is very shy, and she has no friends. She had the weirdest name in the class, which differentiated her from everyone else. Because of her name, she is different from others. Now, next question is, did Wanda have 100 dresses, and why do you think she say so? Why do you think she's saying if she have 100 dresses? And do you really think that she's having? No, Wanda did not actually have 100 dresses. She only had drawings of them. She was a poor girl. For the drawings, you will get to know by the coming up chapter. She was a poor girl who have desired to have a closet full of 100 dresses. So as of now, she was only having a desire. So whatever she desired, she says so. Why is Maddie embarrassed by the questions Paddy asked Wanda? And is she also like Wanda, or she is a little different? Now, why is Maddie embarrassed when they are just questioning of Wanda? Maddie is embarrassed now how Peggy deals with Wanda, not because she cares about Wanda, but because she was poor herself. Because she was poor herself and feared that one day they would treat her the same way. They would also treat her the same day. So Maddie is also poor, not as poor as Wanda, unlike she has a lot of friends. Now, coming up to the chapter, continue from page number 67. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad that she had not to make fun of Wanda. So even though they had been late to school, today they had been late to school, the Wednesday, Maddie was glad that they had not made fun of Wanda. She worked her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly. She was working on her problems 8 times 8. Let's see. She wished that she had the nerve to write Peggy a note. She was thinking of, on her nerves, in her mind, she was thinking of that she will write a note to Peggy because she knew that she never would have the courage to speak right in front of Peggy. So she was thinking that she will write a note to Peggy. Now, what was a note that she want to write is, just look at it. What note she want to write to Peggy? She was thinking of that she will be writing a note to Peggy. Then it says so. Hey Peg, let's stop asking Wanda how many dresses she has. When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. When she finished her maths problem, she started writing a note. Suddenly she paused and shuddered. She paused at certain place and then she shuddered. Shuddered means she just shook it up. Right? She pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress and she had on. and Maddie would have to say it that it's one of the Peggy's old one that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with the new trimmings. No one in the room 13 would recognize it. So, what's going on over here? Paddy thought that if she will write a note, she started writing a note and then simply she shook off and she leave it writing. Now, why did she leave it writing? She leave it because she was thinking of that if she will write a note, maybe she may become the next target for Peggy. She may become the next target for Peggy, and what will Peggy do? Peggy now will ask her the question. She will be the asking her question. She became a next target, and now Peggy might ask Maddie about from Maddie, where did you got dressed? Because Maddie's mother is working in Peggy's home. In Peggy's home, Maddie's mother is working. She is getting the clothes of Peggy only. But what is Maddie's mother doing? She's trying to disguise it, changing it with doing certain kind of change in the design, certain trimming and all, so that no one in the room 13 would know about. No one in the room 13 in the same class would recognize that the dress that Peggy is wearing is the dress that the Maddie is wearing is the dress that Peggy have. So this is what they are thinking about. We will continue with the reading from page number 68 in our next class, and we will be discussing the same. All right. So today we have gone through the chapter where we have studied about Vanda and her classmates, that how the thing is. It was Monday. Vanda was absent, but nobody noticed. Vanda, a quiet girl, did not talk with others much. She lived up on Bogging Heights and belonged to a poor family. She wore the same blue dress every day. Then Peggy and Maddie were good friends and teased Vanda every day. Vanda had no friends and girls used to make fun of her. Vanda claimed of having 100 dresses and 60 pairs of shoes. Peggy was not really cruel girl. She loved children and animals also. Peggy would say why Vanda had spoken of her 100 dresses. If she don't have, why is she lying? Maddie, herself a poor girl, did not like to tease Vanda, but she remained silent for fear of getting teased in Vanda's place, being the next target. Right? So till here we have read, and we will be continuing from here tomorrow. For today, you will be writing down the new words which I'll be sharing it with you in the group, and there is no need to write these oral comprehension check questions. These are only for your reference. All right. There is no need to write these. You can simply go through again while reading the chapter all again.